Hi, Valentino Zubiri here. I'm just going to talk to you a few minutes about publishing and what to watch out for. All these tips will be in this book, or are in this book, VLC. So there you go. US ISBN, and that's the price, $13.95. I priced it so low so that you can afford it. I'm also giving this away here. And I co-wrote this with Silverio Perez, my co-artist and co-author. This is the approved version. And this is the version before that. See, before, after. My suggestion here is for you to get the one that's glossy. There's no additional charge if you use KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing. Get the glossy one because this one is matte and it's easy to get your greasy fingers to ruin the finish. Okay, you see that? When you design a book, the least area here would be the top, after which this would follow, and then here towards the spine, and then the most space would be at the bottom. The reason being that people would be holding your book from the bottom when they read it, so it's comfortable for them to not have any distraction. You know, when they read, the reading has to flow and they shouldn't be moving their fingers about. So that's the reason for this. Now when I design a book, usually I use at least 3 fonts or 3 typefaces. For example, this page, this is different from here and it's different from here, the subheading, and sometimes even the number, the page number is different. See that? That's different from the page number, this heading, and then the subheadings or subtitles are different from the main text. And there's a reason for it, and I explain this in the book. Let me show you the magic of self-publishing. So Richard Lau had 273 works that we took photographs of. Everything was in my laptop. So what we decided on was to split his book into 2 and come up with volume 1 and volume 2. So why have one book if you can have 3? And later on we'll have even more. And all of that because his files were on my computer. I have 5 memoirs, or 5 books that I consider my memoirs, right? So there's Damian. It's thinner with a script format. So the format here is like a script. Then there's Wonder, Quickest Post Lately, 1 Hour Mentors, and VLC. This one I co-wrote with Silverio Perez. If you notice the different thicknesses of the book and their styles, they're all different. And I do plan to make them a little more uniform the moment I come up with my 10th book. So I'll have my Memoirs of an Artist series. See that? This has the same content except for a few pages that have been changed. So this one has picture and this one has a letter to investors. So this is the book for investors and this is the book for the public. But it basically has the same content. And then there's Andrea Kasprik's book. Now if you look at this, it went through 5 trips to the printer. Now the reason being that we just wanted to see how it looks, and so we came up with this one with corrections, and then eventually we finalized it to this one after more or less 8 months of work. So there are some differences, some pronounced, some subtle. And these are things you have to watch out for. So if you have a book signing or an art show opening and you think you're going to get your finalized book from the printer, you better make plans for revisions. Now let me show you something I also designed and helped edit. This has Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop. The titles are Adobe Illustrator, and that way everything is crisp. And then, okay, see that? That's Bob, the author. The titles repeat the design. See? So these are things you have to consider. Okay, now when it comes to this, for example, this is the later one of my later designs, right? So I have more experience now. I know what to put on the book, like the headings, for example, and the prices. You have to repeat. You have to be very consistent. Same thing with the barcode and the ISBN. Details, the copyright page, etc. Now the copyright page would have the Library of Congress control number if you're in the United States, and if you're in another country there should be another version for registering your book. Okay, here's something else. Jerry came to me and said, hey, I have a problem with my book. So this is his design. It's not very consistent. Look at the way the letters are spaced. So I redesigned it into this. See? So that's before and this is after. See that? There's a difference. When you open the book, see, compared to this, there's a difference. So these things you'll learn more about in VLC. Now let me show you another example of why you need to see something printed before you even have an art show opening with a date, because your date would be the deadline. So when you get your first print, you'll tweak it some more. See? And that's why it's important for you to see your book even before other people would see it. Now here's something that Jerry can prove. Jerry proved to himself that he can write a book. So what happened next? He came up with a second book together with his twin brother. So that's something you need to remember. Once you've come up with your first book, you'll come up with even more books. And then find ways to abuse the system. Like Richard. He could have come up with one book, but we decided to have him come up with 2 books. Or 3 books. And that's important for you to consider too. Because it's your call, It's your book, it's your call, you're the self-publisher. And so I wish you luck. Thank you so much.